The story that was published in Wasafiri, it's about a Bengali woman who's recovering after a para-suicide, a woman who faced a trauma while working in a UK prison. I'll first read some parts of it in Bengali, in my own language, and then fragments of it in English. আমার তাকে প্রথম দিনই কেন এত আবাসিক মনে হয়েছিল? মনে হয়েছিল গুটি পোকা হয়ে ওর পেটে ঢুকে যাই, প্রজাপতি হওয়ার প্রলোভনেও আর বের হব না, কিংবা ও আমার পেটে ঢুকে যাক। আমার শঙ্কর ধাতু হতে ইচ্ছে হয়েছিল, আমার মিথুজীবী উদ্ভিদ হতে ইচ্ছে হয়েছিল। সব রকম নিষেধ ডিঙিয়ে আমার এক মরশুমের জন্য ওর ডালপালার বাসায় গিয়ে ডিম পেড়ে আসতে ইচ্ছে হয়েছিল। কি হলে জীবিত প্রাণী আরেক জীবিত প্রাণীর সাথে চিরতরে জড়িয়ে যায় তার সব করতে ইচ্ছে হয়েছিল। কেন? আমাদের তো উইং থেকে ফিরে জীবাণুনাশক দিয়ে হাত ধোবার নিয়ম প্রতিবার। যশোয়া, তুমি কি খুব অবাক হবে, খুব আঘাত পাবে যদি জানো আজ সকালের পর থেকেই আমার পৃথিবী এমন করে বদলে গেছে? কিন্তু একটা কথা বলো, প্রেম এবং পরবর্তী প্রেমের মাঝখানে যদি যথেষ্ট সময়ের ফারাক না থাকে তবে আমরা কেন বিচলিত হই? এমনকি মৃত মানুষের জন্যও তো এই আমরাই নীরবতা পালন করি মাত্র 1 মিনিট। The name of my story in English is This Gift of Silver. It's taken from a line by Pablo Neruda, Ode to the Sea. I float away in the waters of fate. Who can say why I think of absurd things at the oddest of times? Other people comment, "Mashallah, happy family," on a Facebook photo of a mother exhausted from giving birth and a father smiling like a sparkling flint as he holds the newborn. Why can't I think, "Mashallah, happy family"? Why do I think some get to bail out the pond, some get to eat all the fish? Joshua took me to rhyme time for children at the local library. We sat beside the other couples with our legs folded beneath us, as if we too had kids, as if we too were quite happy. The rhymes began. At one point, they started on, "Oh, the grand old Duke of York." And when they were up, they were up, and when they were down, they were down, and when they were only halfway up, they were neither up nor down. As I rocked and floated like an empty canoe above the voices singing in chorus, I suddenly thought, hey, this here is my mood song. Or hey, this here is the national anthem for men with erectile dysfunction. As soon as I repeated this to Joshua, he thumped me on my back and whispered, "Not another word, come away." So here I am in a fix with my garrulous, unconstrained brain. 1. When I woke up, Raga Bhupali kept playing in my head for some reason. Itana Jovana Daman Nakarye. Feel neither pride nor vainglory in your fleeting youth. When I was a child in music class, I barely understood the instructional language of the Lakshman Geet compositions. It seemed that youth was a lamentable condition. The melody sounded like the heart-rending wail of a tribal woman sitting in a dusty field riven by train tracks. The melody of the Ashavari, drifting over from another class, also sounded like the moans of a bereft lover. Did I understand the pain of abundant lovers back then? At what age did grief for the beloved come into being? 2. The psychiatrist came to me when I regained consciousness. It was a routine visit. She asked gently, "Do you want to talk about what you did? Can we discuss it a little?" Inside my head, discuss what? Discussions, discretions are no better than ravings. Didn't you see I left no note? This is how I wanted to say, I care nothing for any one of you. Why should I now talk and compromise my Jovan Daman, the vainglory in my youth? Can you hear me? Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you want me to speak slower? The psychiatrist's earrings and necklace and ring all glow. They're made of some metal as bright as mercury. I rather like looking at them, though my eyes sting a little. The psychiatrist's voice is also like mercury, bright, solid, metallic, like the sound of a whistle. It also stings my ears. Her soft breasts are hidden inside a blouse of white cotton and crocheted lace. They do not sting. What provoked you to act in such a way? Inside my head. Oh, to tell, buzz off. As I watch her some more, I soften towards her. I prepare myself to tell her a story with a calmer mind. As I move to settle myself in the bed, the needles and the wounds from the cannula begin to hurt horribly, and my head feels woozy. I blink at her and read the name tag on her chest, Lopez. What were you sad about? She leans down, bringing her face close to mine. I can smell her cologne faintly. Many things. I couldn't think anymore. My life had become burdensome to me. If you can go on, solve this riddle. I'm going to answer in riddles like, out of the forest the parrot flies, a golden crown on its head lies. Try solving that. Did something happen, dear, just then? Or sometime earlier? Or had it been going on for a while? Inside my head. I've been living for a long time. Isn't that a reason enough to die? Tell me, dear, did anyone disrespect your body or your mind, hurt your body or mind? So, my body and my mind had possessed some dignity then. I feel regretful that I had never known this. Will you try this again? Inside my head. What kind of a question is that? Like a recurring decimal, I will keep returning. Someday, somewhere, the solution will be worked out. Then I shall no longer return. I look at her earrings that glow and flow like mercury and say, nah, I will never try it again. How can I tell you, Miss Lopez? I came here by myself to hold a memorial for the one who has no name, no clan, no grief, no funeral procession. I came to observe silence, eternal silence. Around me, the hospital walls melt and disappear into thin air. I'm sitting on a park bench in the bright noonday sun. Somebody has left the imprint of a hot iron on the bench. How did a hot iron get here? All around me, large black bumblebees are flying. A Jerusalem sagebush is blazing in the sun. A white aeroplane flies silent in the sky. An Eastern European woman in leopard print walks past me, her expression that of a predator cat's, while the sheen of her bursting black tights looks like beef gristle. 3. There was no shape to how she felt on the day she first entered the prison. She had walked through the prison gates with fear, anxiety, and thoughts that faltered and wouldn't focus. But isn't that exactly how she had entered everything else? Relationships, suspicion, breakup, everything. A few cheerful prison officers yammering about the Grand Prix, the female prison officers with tattooed arms and dyed hair. She moved through it all like a canoe floating on water. One corridor after another, one door after another. Each door swung shut, or she had to push them shut as soon as they opened, like the sources of joy in life. Artwork created by prisoners adorned the walls, a tribal dot painting, an Ashanti proverb. 2 small antelopes together can fight a big one. And, oh dear Lord, breasts. Glance through the doors of the rows of the prison cells, then the walls. They're covered in paper clippings where clusters of breasts blossom. White, black, brown, breasts blooming in innocent health watch over the beds of the prisoners with deep tenderness. Are the small antelopes fighting a larger in pain, in pairs? Had she averted her eyes? At the wing, she shook hands with the man after completing the hour-long interview and returned to her office from the wing to discover that the man had fled from Lithuania after raping someone. Or He had arrived by himself 20 years ago from Ecuador and never went back, and no longer knew what his beloved children looked like. No longer knew whether they still played with skipping ropes, whether they still loved the smell of melted butter. The Poles bickered endlessly at the pool table. When they fought, their freckles showed from underneath their ripped shirts, caramel spots as if they had been flash-burned by hot molasses. Prison was a place hot with the aura of sex. After showering, the inmates returned amiably, walking nude with their towels slung on their shoulders. The wing filled with the soapy smell of their clothing, the scent of their clean bodies. Near the showers, the steam from the hot water would whack her nose. She would turn the key and push open the heavy iron door to the wing when she entered, and the men would begin to show off. They hung from the railings, pumping their arms to carry the weight of their bodies, popping the shapes of their pelvic bones, their biceps like ostrich eggs. Tiny buds of blood blossomed like rubies, speckling those biceps where they had just scratched themselves. But they called her with the adoration of kindergarteners, "Miss, oh miss!" At the education center, they learned maths and English. They learned how to be builders. They learned how to fix plumbing. She stuck her head into the room and asked, "Emmanuel, is he here? May I borrow Emmanuel from your class for a while?" Some wise guy called out in falsetto, "A while won't do. Take him for the whole night." The Chinese paid close attention during the horticulture classes. They dug the plant beds with trowels. They harvested cabbages and new potatoes. They scuttled in and out of the greenhouse as if they were human-shaped beavers. The Vietnamese walked about the corridors of the wing with childlike, so it can accept the choice made by someone else with ease. Does it too smile broadly, Mrs. Lopez? Does it too have a steaming bowl of good food waiting somewhere? Tell me, Mrs. Lopez. Come on. The one who has no name, no clan, no grief, no funeral procession. Is there something that waits for that one too? Thank you.